Alright. So. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Looking a bit through some of the profiles here. Seeing if I can pick up anything, maybe. Maybe not. But I was also... still got this annoying little cough. I was also going to try to, hello, hello. Read some more of those tongue twisters from Dr. Seuss. Maybe it's just, no, I'm going to do that as a warm-up. Just bear with me as I make a complete fool of myself here. That. There we are. A little better day. I did go back and pick up some cough drops. Like I said I would. Like you told me to. So, it's better. It's not gone, but it's better. And I could consider this at least normal enough. Anyway, I want to try the tongue twister here. At least a little bit of it. These are weird ones. Alright, here goes. Fox, socks, box, knocks, knocks in box. Fox in socks, fox on fox. I already screwed it up. Knocks on fox in socks in box. Socks on knocks and knocks in box. Fox in socks on box on knocks. Chicks with bricks come, chicks with blocks come. Chicks with bricks and blocks and clocks come. Look, sir, Mr. Knoxer. Let's do tricks with bricks and blocks, sir. Let's do tricks with chicks and clocks, sir. First I'll make a quick trick brick stack. Then I'll make a quick trick block stack. You can make a quick trick chick stack. You can make a quick trick clock stack. And here's the new trick, Mr. Knox. Socks on chicks and chicks on fox. Fox and clocks and bricks and blocks. Bricks and blocks and knocks and box. Now we come to tricks and tuxer. Tried to say this, Mr. Knoxer. Fox on fox, 6 clocks on knocks talk. 6 bricks, 6 chicks talk. Please, sir, I don't like this trick, sir. My tongue isn't quick or slick, sir. I get all those ticks and clocks are mixed up with the chicks and talks, sir. I can't do it, Mr. Foxer. I am so sorry, Mr. Foxer. Those are stupid hard to say. And it's a children's book. Yeah. That's... Anyway. That's enough of a warm-up. I think I'm going to try and like start doing those when I'm reading in the beginning. Just random silly little vocal exercises, I guess, to try and work things up. Anywho, the story. We last left off between Battler and Eva fighting for as opponents. Battler has accepted her as the opponent, and they're trying to figure it out. Extremely evil incantation for sure. There's yet more to go on that. It actually goes on for a bit more time. Here, I'll pop it back on for a sec. Yeah, it's a short little book, but it keeps going, and keeps going, and keeps going. Here's one I tried reading before. New goo, blue goo. Here. New goo, blue goo, gooey, gooey, blue goo, new goo, gluey, gluey. Gooey goo for chewy chewing, that's what the goo goose is doing. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, it's a practice for local artists. Yeah, sure. Well, Discord is for you guys, and to share whatever the hell you want. You can share as much as you want. You can even do ones in other languages. I'm not quite familiar with any of them. Anyway, the story. We were fighting with Eva, and there's a whole deal about Beatrice having to dig through Kiri's pockets and finding nothing, but we found a cigarette butt, which led to Battler realizing it was Hideyoshi, and she went there to talk to him as the reason why she had left the building, or some such. And I guess time advanced in the world of the game board, and here we are. Let's see where it goes. Battler and Eva. Oh, before I really start, you guys like find tongue twisters or things you would like me to try to attempt to say? Feel free to let me know, and I'll see if I can try them before the streams, at the beginning of the streams, like we did here. Could be something interesting and fun. No guarantees on how well I'll do them. Sorry, I'm only human. Battler and Eva dashed to the front of the parlor, calling out Jessica's name. They were searching for Jessica because they had gone to the servant room, found Nanjo's corpse, and didn't know where Jessica was. So, what's your point? What are you trying to say? You couldn't be. Oh no. Beato went pale. In other words, the move the evil witch was about to make was bad enough to make even Beato go pale. This time, I'll give you a fatal move that you won't be able to talk yourself out of. No, I'll make this move against all humans who support you. Hello, hello. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I gotta turn those back on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute here. Please. Here we are. Okay. I gotta turn my alerts back on after what happened last time. Gonna take a minute to load up, I guess. You can see it's a little gray box down there. Oh, that means it's loading up. Oh, for a sec. It should technically be green. There it goes. Alright. Back to that. We're good, we're good. And yes, hello again, Ezekiel. Welcome, welcome. We're just about to face off a witch again, I guess. Listen carefully to my move. Stop it. That move is... Beato, stay back. I'll take it. Come on, you fake witch. After Jessica was injured, Eva was constantly under Battler's supervision. Battler is neither the culprit nor an accomplice. By this, we can establish a perfect alibi for Eva. What? I'll seal you, and humans as well, in a red barrier that most certainly cannot be escaped from. Farewell, lowly humans. Sleep for all eternity in an absolute enclosed room of magic with no exits. Come on, listen carefully. Listen to the red truth. There are no more than 18 humans on this island. Throw away your foolish thoughts of mysterious people hiding and committing crimes. But if I say it that way, you might also suspect animal culprits. I couldn't stand to hear some irrational theory about how an orangutan trained to commit murder wouldn't count as a human. So I'll change it like this. No life forms other than humans have any connections to this game. That's how it is. Next, I'll explain the situation of all 18 people who exist on this island. Kenzo is dead. Kraus is dead. Natsuhi is dead. Hideyoshi is dead. George is dead. Rudolph is dead. Kiri is dead. Rosa is dead. Maria is dead. Genji is dead. Shannon is dead. Cannon is dead. Goda is dead. Kumasawa is dead. Nanjo is dead. Those 15 are all dead. And Battler is alive. Eva is alive. Jessica is alive. That's everyone. All 18 of them. Which means that when the last victim, Nanjo, died, only 3 people, Battler, Eva, and Jessica, were alive, right? What did you say? Damn it. You don't mean... Eva was with you the whole time, so committing a crime was impossible for her. Of course, Battler-kun isn't the culprit. He wasn't forging an alibi for her, and he took the possibility that she was the culprit into account, watching over her actions carefully. No chance existed for her to do anything suspicious. In short, at the time of the crime, only Nanjo and Jessica were in the servant room. And I know what you're thinking. Your next move will be this, right? There's also a chance that Jessica is the culprit. But too bad, I'll slice it up in red before you try. Ushirmiya Jessica has not committed murder. She was not involved with Nanjo's murder. Her eyes are completely covered. It'd be impossible for her to carry out a murder like that. And here's a bonus. Neither Eva nor Battler killed Nanjo, nor were they involved. Wait a second. That doesn't make sense. There were only 3 humans. Then a murder occurs, and none of those 3 were involved. That's insane. I'll state it clearly. The culprit who killed Nanjo was neither Battler, nor Eva, nor Jessica. In other words, it wasn't one of the survivors. Get it? No, that's right. What about multiple personalities? Just like how you were originally another personality of Aunt Eva's. Let's say Jessica had another, witch-like personality, which took the name of someone other than Jessica and killed Dr. Nanjo. Moron. I've already said it in red. Jessica's eyes were completely covered and murder was impossible for her. No matter what kind of personality she was possessed by, murder cannot be carried out with her body. I wonder if you'll be satisfied if I say it this way. No actions caused by Jessica's body had any relation to or influence on the murder of Nanjo. This also applies to Battler and Eva. In other words, no matter how much you try to struggle and interpret it, neither Jessica nor Battler nor Eva is the culprit who killed Nanjo. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, everyone else is definitely dead, right? Then all that's left is the Dr. Nanjo suicide theory, right? And the trap theory. The culprit was already dead, but a trap that they had already prepared went off. Nanjo's death was a homicide. Of course, it was with the direct method of murder, not a trap. A weapon was ready, and he was killed with it from point-blank range in front of him. The culprit appeared openly before Nanjo's eyes, and as they both looked at each other's faces, the culprit killed him. But wait, there are only 3 survivors. You said in red that everyone else is dead. It basically confirmed the life or death statuses of all 18 people. Furthermore, the existence of a 19th person has already been denied in red. In other words, no one can exist except the 3 survivors. And yet, a 4th person other than those 3 appeared before Dr. Nanjo. How could a person other than us appear and murder Dr. Nanjo when no 19th person exists? Insane. You're lying. You're lying with the red. The red only tells the truth. It isn't doubting that the same as betraying the honor of that which who's behind you. shriveling up in fear of me and hiding behind your back. Damn it. Right now, I'll state it clearly. The one who appeared in front of Nanjo was me, a witch. The Golden Witch, who can't be explained away with the 18 humans. Rokkenjima. Runaway. Isn't there a contradiction in this situation? Is she really telling the truth with Red? Yes. Red truth is valid. What an elaborate and precise cornering. How should I make a move against her? Rokkenjima, aren't there any moves? I cannot think of anything. And you, Runaway. My apologies. However, in these last 1,000 years, I have never seen such an elaborately beautiful game board layout. I hate to admit it, but it's beautiful. What a beautiful checkmate in red. The witch's teacher and the demon butler were both stunned, and an expression of ecstasy rose to their faces. Forget surrendering. They were impressed at this perfect checkmate, which simply had to be admired. When people accept defeat from the bottom of their hearts, it gives rise to neither regrets nor humiliation. Nothing is born except feelings of respect. I no longer knew what was what anymore. There were absolutely no weak points in her red. She had said in red that all of 15 people had died. She had said in red that no people existed other than the 18. In other words, no more than 3 people, me, Jessica, and Aunt Aiva, existed. And even though none of those 3 people were the culprit, Dr. Nanjo was killed. And without a doubt, Dr. Nanjo's death was a homicide. He was murdered by that person, openly, in front of him. And she's saying that that person is a witch? The culprit who killed Nanjo was not an animal or anything of the sort. That has already been dealt with in red, right? Everything other than humans has been completely removed from consideration. Even things like robots don't work. Absolutely no factors other than humans participate in this game board. Therefore, I can also say this. The one who killed Nanjo was definitely a human. A human with their feet on the ground held up a weapon and killed with it, right before his eyes. However, the human may have been able to use magic. In other words, it was a witch. In other words, it was me, the Golden Witch Beatrice. Even as Battler ground his teeth, his knees hit the floor with a thunk. His soul still refused to surrender. However, his knees had already started to accept surrender. Not yet. Oh, did you kneel? That's right. You're already starting to understand. The Golden Witch does exist. And that Golden Witch, Beatrice, is me. Come on, praise me. Now, praise the resurrection of a true witch. Now, praise the resurrection of the Golden Witch Beatrice. On the 9th twilight the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. Damn it. I don't understand. After being so thoroughly immobilized by the red, I don't have a clue anymore. Battler, don't lose heart. You and I promised that we would fight each other again, right? Will you surrender here? Will you disappear in a place like this before fighting with me again? I don't want to break that promise. However, I can't think of any move to deny her. In the first place, this isn't even a puzzle. Nothing exists except the suspects, and all of the suspects are innocent. I was told that they were innocent in red, right? And also that it was a real homicide, and that the culprit was human, and that they did appear before Dr. Nanjo's eyes and kill him. I give up. There's nothing I can do. Please, Battler, don't give up. Don't lose heart. If you stop thinking, it automatically becomes your loss. I'm begging you, don't lose heart. I'm also cheering you on, so don't lose. I can't think of anything anymore. I find myself thinking she's got to be a witch who must have done it with magic, which makes all thinking pointless. Any ideas how to deny magic? It's useless. My head hurts. My brain's tired. I'm starting to think that thinking is pointless, so I should just stop. The only thing I can think of is flipping it, but she already said that doesn't work. Battler, listen. In the game of chess, both sides do all they can to make the other lose, so a single game takes a long period of time. However, if one side throws away victory from the beginning, and makes moves harmful to themselves, the game can end in the blink of an eye. That is called a fool's mate. A fool's mate is, simply put, a strange way of playing chess in which the fastest methods of losing are considered. Opening the area in front of your own king, and inviting the opponent's queen in. Even though the average game time in chess is several hours, the game can be resolved in a scant 4 moves. Oh yeah, fool's mate. I always try and pull that off every so often. In other words, if both sides try to win in a fight, they are compelled to take a painfully long period of time. But if one side decides to lose, the game can be ended far too easily at any time. When the human side stops thinking, it hands the problem before its eyes over to the witch. And even an apple falling from a tree can immediately be resolved as the work of magic. It is the same for the witch's side. Witches use the red truth. By using that, they can explain the true form of magic with humans and immediately lose. You don't have to tell me that. You're telling me to not stop thinking, right? However, how should I counterattack that person's perfect bright red move? For me, for humans, it's no longer possible. Is it impossible? Is it really impossible for you, Battler? Please, don't lose heart. Sorry. I've reached my limit. Battler scratched at the floor, crying heavily. Beato watched that with a distressed face. Then she stood up and spoke to the witch. I will make a move as a counter to yours. Huh? I wonder just how you plan to cut up this perfect checkmate. How can this checkmate, one totally impossible for humans to break, be defeated by the likes of you? Beatrice, you don't mean to... Indeed. If a human cannot make a move, I will assault you with a move I can use precisely because I am a witch. A move you can use because you're a witch? What are you planning to do? I will use the red to deny witches. Beatrice, my lady! The teacher and the butler were both startled. I also immediately understood what it meant. To use the red that only witches could use. To use the red to deny witches. It is like using your own sword to slit her own throat. What? Hey, what are you saying? Deny witches with red? Quit talking like an idiot. If you do that, you won't get away unscathed either. You are not a witch. And I am not a witch either. The road to becoming a true witch is difficult, and I have much, much farther to go. Very well then. Right here, right now, there have never been any witches in the first place. I will strip this deception away myself. Aren't both of us real, obvious witches? Being able to use red is itself proof of witches. I don't know what the definition of a witch is to you, but if you think that you alone will be able to get away with unscathed, then how could I make such a mistake? I care not. What did you say? I never did manage to become a witch. I've done nothing more than finally begin walking down the road to becoming a true witch. If what I am now is a witch, then I'm a false witch like you, one who is merely drunk on power, rather than existing in that shabby form. I shall erase this form of mine along with you, without any regrets. Are you insane? Stop it! I still want to be a witch. I hate being human. Witch-sama, please return to your seat. Please, receive the human sides counter from your seat. What are you doing? Let go of me. Don't let that woman use the red. Make her stop. Let go. As the witch stood from her seat and tried to spring upon Beato, Ranave pressed down on both of her shoulders, forcing her back into her seat. And even after that, he didn't remove his hands from those shoulders. Denying witches was the same thing as denying magic. That included demons such as Ranave. However, instead of running away, Ranave chose to act as a facilitator for the game, and to carry out that duty for his master's sake. Beatrice, you have no regrets, right? That's my line. Sorry, teacher. Even though you taught me so much about fun magic and magic that brings happiness, I wasn't able to use it well at all. So I'll study from square one, and start over again. I am truly sorry that you had to suffer for your stupid disciples' misconduct. I had a good disciple in the very end. Go, do what you believe in. I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about, but I do understand one thing, and I can say this. Beato, I don't know what you're trying to do, but stop trying to do it. You have no moves, but I have one. If we let that move get away, she will be revived as a witch in the truest sense, and this time she will control this whole island. All nightmares will be hers to do with as she pleases, and this island will fall into the deepest hell of the evil witch's repeating delusions for all eternity. Can you permit that? Don't you care if your dear relatives are toyed with for all eternity in that witch's nightmare? Still, you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself. This is a game between me and her. You shouldn't have to make your move and sacrifice yourself. I'll think of something. I'll surely think of a miraculous move. So don't rush into it. Damn it. I'll definitely think of one. So don't rush into it. This game is cruel. The time limit for your consideration has already run out. I am now the only one who can do it. Calm yourself, battler. I'll defeat her. I'll defeat that cruel witch with my own hands. Wait, Beato. Stop it. Quit it. There's absolutely no need for you to sacrifice yourself. Weren't you fighting to deny me? What a strange person. Let that child do as she likes. And please, watch her until the end. But... Battler, there's only one thing I ask. Would you cover your ears? My ears? Why? Starting now, I will deny witches in red. I will slice up the game board that she has laid out with her red. By doing that, I will probably lose my form as a witch as well. If you also hear the red truth I speak, you will understand my true form. If you alone cover your ears, that truth will not change at all. However, even so, I want you alone to cover your ears. I at least want to be a witch in your eyes. Please. Beatrice-sama, there are no problems on the witch's side. Please, your move. Let go! I won't let you get away with this either, okay? She's insane. Do you plan on dying and taking us with you? Stop it. Don't deny it. Stop it. How unsightly for a golden witch. Okay, are you ready? I will remove your check in Battler's stead. What happened on the chessboard where 15 died and only 3 remained? Starting now, I will expose it in red. With that red truth, I will pierce and kill both fake witches. Beato turned around and smiled at Battler. Most likely, no one would believe that the witch who had gone to the limits of cruelty would try to leave a smile as the last expression she showed Battler. And that smile signified her last wish, that she wanted him to cover his ears. Denying witches in red was the same as knowing her shabby form. Battler put both of his hands against his ears to protect her final bit of honor as a witch. He put his hands against his ears, rejecting the truth. And he howled, so that not even a bit of what she was saying would slip into his ears. After that was a world where Battler could hear nothing. Beato was saying something in red. Even the witch covered her ears at those bitter contents. That was the red truth. Words of power. Words that denied her own existence. Unique words that only witches could use, which denied witches. Beato spoke. With the red truth, she cut up the bright red game boards that the witch had released. She explained difficult problems that could not be solved by humans with moves that could only be solved by witches, and began cornering the witch. The truth that Battler was not permitted to hear. If Battler had broken his promise and sneakily eavesdropped, in an instant Battler would probably have been able to become the victor in his game with Beato. He would probably have understood all of the riddles on the island, all of the magic and tricks, closed rooms, spells, curses, legends, and this entire tale of anger and sadness. However, Battler would only learn what that was when he reached the truth by himself. Yes, from the beginning, Beatrice had wished that Battler would reach the truth by himself. It was something one shouldn't reach by being told it. It was the truth that Battler would have to drag himself to by his own power. A brilliant light gathered with Beato and the evil witch at the center and grew gradually stronger. It was the power of truth. Its heart and brilliance like the sun shone on all the falsehoods that hid in the darkness, trying to deceive and burnt them to nothing. Why? Why can you die? Why can you throw away your life when you have such incredible power? You who hold the power to control gold, magic, and everything at will. Why can you so readily throw that away? Learn that even with a mountain of gold, even with magic to split the sea, there are some things you can never obtain. Come, show yourself. Show your true form. Ushormia, Eva. When the sun exploded and blew everything away, Eva could be seen there, holding a gun. You're the culprit, Aunt Eva. Took you long enough to notice, Battler-kun. Without any hesitation or mercy, Eva raised her gun and pulled the trigger. As an explosive sound rang out, Battler's heart was shot through, and he fell to the floor. After going into convulsions for a short time, with blood dripping from his mouth, Battler died. But in his last moments, he realized without a doubt that she was a murderer, and not just for killing him. There have been many murders, and I don't have a clue how they were carried out. However, while my ears were covered, Beato exposed all of them with the red, blasting away all magic. In other words, even though I didn't understand it, was that nothing more or less than proof that magic can all be explained with humans? Beato made me cover my ears, so I myself didn't know the whole truth. However, now that it's been denied and read, I can see one fact which is extremely unfair for us, that it is possible to deny all magic. So in other words, no, I must not think of that. If I do, then the time I spent covered my ears would be made pointless. If I'm going to regret, I can only regret my own actions. If, at that time, I thought of some moves to spin things around and counter the witch's final move, there would have been no need for Beato to sacrifice herself. It was my own worthlessness that brought about this conclusion. Even though it was a pitch-black world where nothing could be seen, for some reason I felt Beato's presence right next to me. So I tried calling out to her. You can exchange words with someone whether they're a human or a witch. So even in a world where witches have been denied, I should be allowed to talk to her. Beato. Battler, is it? It is done. I did it. Yeah, I didn't hear it, but I watched you until the very end. I definitely saw you boldly stand up to that evil witch. With this, I am no longer a witch, but I will definitely become a witch again. And then, I'll make it so that I can be called the Golden Witch again. And once again, return, so that I can be accepted as your opponent. No, you were a witch. Huh? I saw it. When you took that evil witch and blew her away with that awesome magic, exposing her true form. I saw it with my own eyes. That wasn't magic. But the red... No, it was magic. You were definitely the Golden Witch. Even if you deny it yourself, I'll acknowledge it. You are definitely the Golden Witch. When Battler said those words, in the world that had been dark, there was suddenly a single grain. A small grain of gold, like a wheat seed, shone brightly, and, even though it was small, it had a strong gold-colored sparkle. Then, it shone on the two of them, sitting with their backs together, so they each became aware of their own form. They did not exist only as consciousness. They became aware that they had bodies and definitely existed. No, perhaps we should say that they each had been given an existence called a body. When Battler looked at his own form, he wasn't that surprised. But when Beato looked at her own form, she was a little startled. From Battler's perspective, she looked just like normal. But for a short while, she was surprised by that form. What is going on? The sparkle from that grain of light is slowly getting stronger. That grain of wheat was no longer simply gold-colored, but was like the light of the sun. Then, it softly began to approach Beato's chest. When that grain of the sun was sucked inside her chest, The world was wrapped in a deep blue sky, and the deep blue ocean was spread out below them. An island rose up, trees sprouted and created a forest, walls surrounded us, and a ceiling swallowed us, and was adorned with more and more things, made to be like the hall in the Ushirimiya mansion. In the middle of the fantastical hall, where many gold butterflies beat their wings, many tables were set up with white tablecloths, like it was a party. And a beautiful cooking and fruits were set out, and over there were a great many shapes. It was everyone talking together and smiling. Everyone. There was Dad and Kiri-san, Uncle Kraus, Aunt Natsuhi, and Aunt Rosa, and of course even Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi. George, Aniki, Jessica, Maria. Wait, even Shannon-chan, Kanen-kun, Koda-san, and Kumasawa-san are here. Everyone was at the party, clapping their hands and celebrating our return. Why? Even though everyone was dead, why are they alive? In the Golden Land, the souls of all the dead can be revived. Welcome back, Beatrice. And welcome, Bachelor-kun. Welcome to the Golden Land. I made it? I made it. To the door of the Golden Land. Yes. My lady, you have finally managed to invite everyone here. Welcome, Battler-sama, to the Golden Land. Battler. So, you have finally made it this far. Grandfather, where in the world am I? My blood, which is incompatible with magic, runs most deeply in your veins. Therefore, you are the only one who could not reach the Golden Land, and Beatrice has been searching for you this whole time. She tried everything to bring you here. What did you say? Battler-sama, if you would take your seat. Tonight's dinner is my very best work. If you would, please relish it. You should be honored. Normally, I would have eaten all of it, but I left you some out of gratitude. The 7 steaks and 8 chans. In the Golden Land, all of those with minds are equal. Here, there is no distinction between us furniture, humans, and witches. Battler-sama, we were waiting for you. Welcome to the Golden Land. Shannon-chan, George Aniki. I still feel like this might be a dream. We should have died. But I'm alive. And everyone is here and happy. I can't believe it. That's right. This place must be a dream world. So it must be a dream that George is acting so friendly with a maid girl. Could you give it a rest, Eva? For now, you gotta stay quiet and bless the 2 young'uns. The Golden Land is the city of bliss. We should never quarrel here. Here, any people are free to love each other. No one needs to hesitate over it. Jessica-chan, Kanen-kun, you look so wonderful. I'm jealous. Hey, Bachelor. I'm a little, Battler-sama, welcome. And welcome home. Jessica was probably embarrassed because she was holding hands with Kanen-kun. Kanen-kun wanted to act humbly like a servant and bow, but since neither of them could let go of the other's hand, he couldn't do it so well, and the whole scene looked fairly comical. With a servant child? You can't. Our Jessica cannot do such a thing. It's hardly a big deal, correct? Let her at least choose the person she likes. She can't. She can't. Jessica. You can't either, George. They can party with the Seven Sisters. Yeah. As Natsuhi and Antiva hugged each other, they cried tears of regret for their adorable children, even though they had always been at odds. It was a very bizarre scene. It isn't really a problem, right? It doesn't matter who likes who. That's right. It's proof that a parent's too attached to their child. Battler, no matter what kind of woman you bring home, I'll give her a warm welcome, okay? Don't you dare introduce her to this man, okay? He'll get his hands on her immediately. They'll run off together right away. Bastard. Battler, you finally came here. Maria, from the very beginning, you knew we'd be coming here. Oh, that's why I wasn't scared at all. Everyone was being a coward and trembling. It was funny. What the hell? Even though I thought you were the most screwed up, you actually knew the truth from the beginning. How rude. I simply cannot forgive you for speaking of Lady Maria in that way. Formulating firing curve. Attack preparations ready. Lady Maria, we can attack at any time. Ouch. Be quiet. You're in the presence of Beatrice-sama. Come now, no need to be so stiff. Let's be considerate of their desire to joke around and have fun. More importantly, why don't we begin preparing for the toast? Yes, preparations for my excellent mackerel cooking are complete. I can serve it at any time. Hey, you people, work a little more like furniture. No, I'm gonna stuff myself some more. Come on, let's work. Don't keep the guests waiting. Let's work studiously and attend to them. Don't let the guests do anything. Make them lazy, make them slothful. Fatten them up like pigs. Beatrice, Battler-kun, this way. Grandfather and Virgilia were standing on the landing at the top of the staircase, beckoning to us. Beato and I turned our heads to see what was going on, then climbed the stairs together. From the hall, it looked like a very high stage. A small table had been set up there, as well as a piece of parchment and an old-fashioned quill pen. I saw that strange magical characters in Japanese were written side by side, and below it, many names were written. There were 17 of them. Grandfather was the first, and everyone's name had been signed all over it. The people who arrived at the Golden Land probably signed this one after another. Battler, now that you are here, everyone is gathered. Listen carefully. The Golden Land is not a world supported by the power of magic alone. The cooperation and approval of all humans who receive happiness here is required. For that sake, we must gather the signatures of everyone here. Last time, the door to the Golden Land was finally opened, but you refused to sign. Although you probably don't remember it. Because you refused to sign, this world was once again sealed in darkness. Just hearing it like that, it kind of sounds like I'm the only stubborn one, and that I've been a bother to everyone in various ways. That's because your stubbornness is the real deal. It seems you received more than just blood from Kinzo. Beato laughed amiably. I should have felt like she was making fun of me, but without thinking, I went along with her, laughing and smiling. Magic is a miracle. Miracles cannot be made complete unless everyone believes. And, when you believed in the end, this miracle, the Golden Land, was completed. Looks like I've been a real pain. So, what should I do? First, sign here. Then, Beatrice, you sign here. Quill pens are pretty hard to use, huh? Well, it's shut. You klutz. Shooting ink is a bad omen. Can't you at least write your name quickly? Your pen's wiggling all over the place like a worm. You should talk. Don't write it in katakana. Beatrice is a stylish name, so write it in cursive. You're making the quill in your name cry. Shut up. In school they didn't tell you not to use cursive on tests. Hey, this is a solemn ceremony. Be silent. Very well. We have gathered the 2 signatures as well as the form of for the covenant. Both of you, your oath, please. We'll start with Beatrice. Put your hand on the covenant and take the oath. As a good witch, Beatrice swears to continue her studies from this point forth, to bring happiness to the people. Say it. Indeed. It's a little embarrassing. As a good witch, Beatrice swears to continue her studies from this point forth to bring happiness to the people. Will that do? Acceptable. Battler is next. In the same way, Battler-kun, put your hand on the covenant and take the oath. As a member of the Golden Land, Ushirmiya Battler swears to serve for the sake of his own happiness and that of his neighbor. As a member of the Golden Land, Ushirmiya Battler swears to serve for the sake of his own happiness and that of his neighbor. I am embarrassed too. Listen, everyone. Here and now, we have gathered the oaths of all 18 humans who accept the Golden Land. When Kinto proclaimed that, everyone applauded at once, praising us. Since I had been the only stubborn one and had just been a pain, I felt a little bad about being the most celebrated one. And, with that, in accordance with the ancient rites, we ask Battler-kun, the last to make the oath, to sign the invitation to the Golden Land. This is something that invites the Golden Witch Beatrice to the Golden Land. The Golden Land welcomes the Golden Witch through a consensus of those who have acknowledged it, and becomes complete. Battler, I will read it out loud. Listen carefully. The 18 of us accept Beatrice as the Golden Witch and welcome her to the Golden Land. What's going on with you? You won't be invited unless I send an invitation? That does seem to be the ceremony. It feels stiff, even to me. Why don't we end it quickly? I've been so hungry for a while now. Come to think of it, I've only been pecking at canned food and haven't eaten anything good. Let's quickly finish this signing. What's this? I acknowledge you as a witch? Huh? That's pretty simple. Damn you, grandfather, exaggerating it so much. Come on, quickly. Sign, right here. Huh? Quickly, sign. With slightly weird and uncomfortable smiles, the 2 of them started demanding that I sign. At that time, an incredible sound like that of a glass window breaking reverberated through the hall, and the bustling tumult faded back into complete silence. I dropped the quill pen and turned around, trying to see what had happened. I'm actually not surprised. By her, yes, but not by the turn of events. When I did, where had she come from? A human who clearly hadn't been there a short while ago was in the very center of the hall, looking up at us. Who's that? A girl? She's probably about the same age as Jessica and me. But I didn't know that face. None of the other people here knew that face either. Who are you? Who is this? Where did you come from? Those without invitations are not needed at my party. Servants, kick her out. As you command. Surround her. 7 sisters of purgatory surrounded her from 7 directions, taking out magical blades that drew purple curves and blocking her. And from out of nowhere, shuffling goat-head servants appeared in great numbers, surrounding that girl. You like her jacket, huh? She comes to breaking the party, and I like that jacket. As everyone's drawing weapons. On top of that, the Chiesa sister stood in front of Beato like a wall, readying a golden bow and pulling back the bowstring. But the girl didn't move at all. On the contrary, she was still staring at us on the landing as though she didn't mind at all. She's got an eagle symbol. Who is she looking at? Beato? Grandfather? Could it be me? Yes. The girl was staring straight into my eyes, glaring. Then, after our eyes met perfectly, she yelled, "You mustn't sign that. Are you going to accept your own defeat? Don't be tricked by the witch." Huh? By the witch? Huh? At that time, something incredibly strong lifted me by the nape of my neck. What's going on? And after being made to turn around behind me, I saw Virgilia with an eerie smile on her face, and the muscular forms of goat monsters. A goat monster that looked about 2 meters tall was grabbing me with an arm as thick as a log. There is no need to listen to an uninvited guest. Come, offer your signature as well. On this written oath, Ushirimiya Battler acknowledges the existence of witches. Come now, sign the written oath. Now, damn it, let go. As the goat monsters held me down with their power and device, they forced me to grab the quill pen. I couldn't even touch the floor with my feet, much less resist. Battler, why are you resisting? Weren't you just about to sign willingly? Don't change your mind now. Yeah, this is annoying. I guess they got their arm around my throat too. Don't change your mind now, after all that, okay? Don't you think for an instant that it might be okay to acknowledge witches? You thought that, right? I was tricked? That's insane. Beato isn't that kind of... Sorry, Battler. I am that kind of person. It's useless now. It looks like sentimental sob stories don't suit me. Teacher, I'm counting on you to use all your strength. That was such a plain role to play, and I got so bored. I don't know who you are, girl, but I'll beat you to death, mash you and crush you until threads start trailing, okay? I'll make you regret being born a woman. Maybe I shouldn't laugh. As Beato waved her golden pipe, the massive chandelier hanging in the hall was electrocuted, and from that, a terrible purple thunderbolt fell. It should have been a direct hit on the girl right below it, turning her to ash. However, not a single hair was singed. Oh? So, your sudden appearance here wasn't just a fluke. Tell me, state your name. I don't have any name to give you. More importantly, you idiot. How long are you going to be tricked? You softy. Figure it out already. This is all the witch's trap. Those words were aimed at me. This is all the witch's trap, she says? That can't be. Beato reformed and swore to become a good witch. Beato, all this about traps, it's a lie, right? Please, tell me it's a lie. Sorry, Battler. It was pretty fun. Sure, I just did what teacher told me, but look how great it turned out. Apparently, if you start out all hostile and needlessly brutal, then turn incompetent and soft at just the right moment, you can spark a huge bump on your affection meter, right? I've heard villains who start all lovey-dovey and then freak the shit out are all the rage these days, right? Even I've studied a bunch of those manga, anime, and galga that have been so popular lately, you see? And for you, just as expected, it was tears, please, and you're down. Idiot. What a truly simple person. I'll call this the North Wind and the Sun strategy. That's not... Damn you, you bastard. How could you trick me? Yes, that expression suits you the most. That caring expression of yours really doesn't suit me after all. It made my back itch, and I was frantically trying to not let it get to me. Too bad. Witches never reform. Mad laughter. You take care of the signature, teacher. This uninvited guest is my prey. Come, you can no longer refuse to sign. Come on, look, sign it, and offer your body, your mind, and your soul. When Virgilia lifted her chin as a signal, the goat monsters with an even more vice-like power forced my arm to approach the parchment. Oh, these guys are trying to make me sign, even if it breaks my arm. Then, a bright red light burst open with me at the center, knocking the witches and the goat monsters away. Did that girl save me? But who in the world is that? I don't have a clue. How long do you plan to keep playing in a place like this? Give it a rest. I'm jealous of you. Oh. I know who she is. I'm glad you saved me, but that's a pretty cruel way to say it. Sorry, but who are you? Witch of Rokkenjima. Give him back. Wait. Maybe? Who would do that, you fool? Battler is my toy. My most favorite toy in the world. I won't get tired of him. I won't throw him away, and I won't hand him over to anyone. Even Battler is enjoying this to the fullest. Together with me, he's having so much fun playing. No matter who you are, I won't let you get in the way. Yeah, it looks like you're having a lot of fun. It makes me so jealous it ticks me off. Here you are in a place like this, guffawing and having a loud, noisy time with everyone. With all those beautiful witches around to pamper you, you must be having so much fun that you don't even want to go back. Are you talking to me? Wait, you've got the wrong idea. This is a pain for me, too. What do you mean, fun? You don't know what I've been through. What you've been through? You had fun living with Mom and Dad. You played around with all the cousins. And you get to play with these wacky witches for all eternity. Don't you recognize the happiness you have? Can't you see how jealous I am of you all? So much that I wish I could join in, too. I'm sorry, but I'll have to turn you down there. I am satisfied with the toy I have. A rude toy like you is not fitting for my toy box. Yes, I understand. Who would ever play with someone like you? But I will thank you just a little for letting me meet everyone like this. Who are you? You couldn't be... I see. Is that it? Yes, I understand. I know who you are. I see. So, you're the Peace Lady Burncastle through and... How amusing. Why don't I formally invite you to my party? I'll welcome you fully. Along with Battler, I'll play nicely, break you, kill you, crush you, turn you to ash, mix you with bread dough, and bake you until you're fluffy. It's useless. It's all useless. You can't do that. On the Rokkenjima of 1986, I'll expose everything that happened to the light of day. I'll show you that before the truth, you're like an icicle scared of the coming spring. Prepare yourself, Golden Witch. Beatrice. Cast. Beatrice. Ushirimiya Battler. Died on the 9th twilight. Eva. Beatrice. Ushirimiya Ange. Ushirimiya Kinzo. Died on the 1st twilight. Ushirimiya Kraus. Died on the 7th twilight. Ushirimiya Natsuhi. Died on the 8th twilight. Ushirimiya Jessica. Died on the 10th twilight. I have an odd question in chess. Can you put a pawn on the edge of the board and make a king? Ushirimiya Eva. Returned alive. Ushirimiya Hideyoshi. Died on the 5th twilight. Ushirimiya George. Died on the 9th twilight. Ushirimiya Rudolph. Died on the 4th twilight. Angie, I think. Maybe. Ushirimiya Kiri. Died on the 6th twilight. Ushirimiya Rosa. Died on the 2nd twilight. Ushirimiya Maria. Died on the 2nd twilight. Big font. Just so you read it. Nanjo Terumasa. Died on the 9th twilight. Ornove Genji. Died on the 1st twilight. Shannon. Died on the 1st twilight. Cannon. Died on the 1st twilight. Goda Toshiro. Died on the 1st twilight. It's Kumasawa Chiyo. Died on the 1st twilight. Regalia. Died on whenever. Ronove. Lucifer. Pawn promotion can make it queen, knight, rook, or bishop. Leviathan. You can only have one king. Alright. Leviathan. Satan. Belphegor. Because a lot of the analogy is that Battler is the king, and everybody are chess pieces. Mammon, Beelzebub, Asmodeus. And one of the thoughts is you get the pawn to the end, they turn into a king. Your original king gets taken, but you still have your king left, so you can avoid checkmate. Chester 410, Chester 45. All of the goats, they're just all of the goats. Lambda Delta. Burned Castle. If that was the case, then Battler's piece could be taken, but still win. Third game, Banquet of the Golden Witch results, and so the Golden Land once again crumbled in the darkness. However, a victor finally appeared in the game of the Golden Witch. This victor is the new Golden Witch, Eva Beatrice. It was she who solved the riddle of the gold before the time was up. 17 all died. When the seagulls cried, there was but one survivor. There was but one survivor, and it would have been Eva. I'd like to think of myself as decent as thinking of crazy ideas that potentially work. Rarely are they the right idea. Additional new features. The Golden Witch has prepared a gift for you in commemoration of your stay. You can find these new features on the title screen. Okay. Alright, tips, are those episode 2? Tea party? I guess we're going to a tea party, guys. So, I still don't know what the riddle of the witch is. All I can figure out is that Beatrice keeps coming up over and over and over as like the key to solving everything, but I have no idea what lock it goes into. Like, for instance, that number that was put on the magic circle previously, 01511129. 071511129. That's 8. And then there's Beatrice. Beatrice. It matches up. Shout my name. Beatrice. Beatrice over and over becomes something for that epitaph. It's blatantly important, but I can't figure out why. Didn't Beatrice say I keep my promises in red in episode 2? Maybe, I can't remember. That one was a while ago. Do you believe in Beatrice turning good? Yeah, I believed in her change of heart, but I always suspected that, there was gonna have to be a sign here, it's a play, and that, I don't know, I wanted to believe, but I always suspected there was gonna be a switch over. Anyway, hello. I see your name pop up in join the channel every so often, but officially, welcome. And I'm gonna laugh. I never expected Lady Burncastle's piece to barge in at the very end. I searched all over the place for a piece fitting for a game with you. I was sure you'd like it. What's with that piece? Who was that person? Who was it? She didn't say her name. That's mean. Hey, don't you think so too? I have a general idea. Or rather, I imagine most people would have figured it out. My bet is she is related to Battler by blood. I can't quite place how or why. I can't remember, and my memory's failing me, but Rudolph had 2 wives, or 2 girlfriends, and that I can't remember if she had a kid or not. Kiri's. No, my memory is funny. Too many things to keep track of, but I remember Rudolph got multiple people pregnant. But, oh yeah, our Discord. I can't recall what happened off the top of my head. I have a general idea, or rather, I imagine most people would have figured it out. As I say as I'm coughing my lungs out. Most people? Well, I don't get it. And it was that character's first appearance, wasn't it? If she doesn't say her name, I won't understand. Players won't understand. No one will understand, right? Beto, don't bother telling her. See? Isn't she a funny kid? Indeed. Lady Lambda Delta's innocent airhead side is truly precious and amusing. Come on. Why won't you tell only me, you meanie? In exchange, I'll teach you a special secret that only I know. So tell me. Oh? A special secret, you say? I want to hear. Bleh. If you want me to tell you first tell me who that girl really was. The secret I know sure is awesome. After all, it's about as awesome as knowing that Santa-san is actually Daddy. I said it. Sorry. I'll bet you're so shocked that it turned your world upside down, right? So, your father was the one who carried him to your place, Lambda? He came. Wait. What do you mean? Cool. 31 of the members enjoy a free voice. Say what you want, talk about what you want. Keep it civil, and it's pretty cool. Lord Santa Claus only visits the homes of children with pure hearts. I guess he didn't come to your place, did he? That's not true. He chucks coal at the naughty ones. Well, at least he's supposed to. Well, Lord Santa Claus is gracious. Unless you're a really bad scoundrel, he'll give you a present. After all, he even gave them to me. As you grow and your heart is hardened, he stops coming, doesn't he? How old were you, Beto, when he stopped coming? Indeed. He kept coming until I was about 12, when my maiden's heart awoke. I quickly got somewhat embarrassed about Lord Santa coming. After I wrote, "Thanks for everything, that's enough. So make sure you splurge on at least on the last set of presents," he stopped coming. Oh, and I was looking forward to it too. How old were you when he stopped coming, Lady Burncastle? That was pretty wild. It happened fairly early. I think when I was about 9. Something about that beard really irritated me, so I waited in my futon with some sewing scissors ready, trying to cut it off. What a painful age. Cutting a beard is a very bad thing. Do you know how long it takes to grow them? So, as far back as Lady Lemdadilta can remember, Lord Santa Claus never came to see her, huh? He usually comes until the last year of elementary school or during middle school. Maybe you should take her to a doctor. I heard that being too precocious can have negative side effects on the growth of mind and body. Yeah, you can definitely see some of those negative side effects. Hey, what are you people talking about? Where? It truly is boisterous when 3 witches gather. If you're talking about a secret on that level, I doubt this will be worth listening to. Can I go now? I have to get ready for the next game. But, hey, wait a sec. Tell me who that woman really was. Well then, tell me the special secret of yours first. If it's good enough, then I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you, because it really is a special secret. Remember, in this game, there was a girl who found the gold and became the new witch, right? Indeed. And just what kind of secret might that person have? I figured out who that girl really is. Does anyone know? There was a hint in the way she talked. Remember? That girl said it a lot, didn't she? If only you just blah, right? Yes, that phrase is the key point. If only, if only, if only... Yes. She was actually Ushiromiya Eva. What do you think? Are you shocked? Oh, I never noticed that. To think there would be a hint in a place like that. You're a real good sport, Beato. This kid tends to get full of herself, so try not to overdo it. See ya. I'm leaving. Wait! It's not fair if you just listen to my secret and don't tell me yours. Tell me who she really was. Your secret was so amazing that mine just wouldn't match up. So in exchange, I'll teach you a special secret. I'll tell you the name of the culprit in this game called Higurashi no Nakanu Korini. Don't say it. I'm still playing it. See you, Beato. Very intelligent. Very observant. Very, very much so. I would never have noticed that. However, the repertoire of jam on the crackers was lacking. Add some gojichon chili paste every once in a while. It goes great with freshened tea. Later. Oh, I see. I shall try it. I'll call for some after preparing the next game. Until then, feel free to polish up your strategy at your leisure. Yes, I'll do that. This last game was pretty interesting. Later. Hey, wait a sec. Tell me. Wait, this is the tea party, not the mystery thing. My, you two really are close. Yes, that's right. Oh, I really like you, Burncastle. You could even say I love you. I want to gouge out your eyes so that you see no one other than me. Oh, that would be so wonderful. It'd be great to dunk them in black tea. Thanks that you would be so entranced, Lady Lambda Delta. I have a serious responsibility. Still, this last game really was close. I was a breath away from getting Battler. Beato, can I ask you something? What is it? I won't tell you that girl's name. When are you gonna stop fooling around? Are you even trying to win? Lambda Delta threatened her with a low voice that she had never used in front of Burncastle. It completely blew away the calm atmosphere that had been there until a moment ago. You know, I'm supporting you because you're supposed to be a witch who can win against Burncastle. If you don't have the power to win against her, then I'll abandon you right away, okay? How harsh of you. What about me dissatisfies you? As you know, my game board is perfect. Lady Burncastle will never be able to win. Yeah, that's right. Your board truly is impressive. It truly is an impressive and perfect game board that Burncastle definitely won't be able to win in, not even after 100 years. Or even 1,000 years. That's why I made you a witch in exchange for letting me borrow it. If I stop being your guardian, you'll immediately go back to being a human. Make sure you don't forget that, no matter how much incredible magic power you hold, you are nothing more than a temporary witch. I understand. I'm grateful to you. And don't speak so casually to me. I'll forgive that when Burncastle around, but not when she isn't. I'll bet you've started to forget how much you owe me. That is not so. You really are disgusting. Go ahead and talk the way you usually do, but be mindful of what you say. I have a surprisingly short temper, you see. Indeed. Let's get back to what we were discussing. Your game board truly is perfect. You should be able to defeat Burncastle without any trouble, but that kid won't surrender easily. She'll challenge you over and over. That is no problem. It has been certified by you, Lady Lambda Delta. My game board is perfect. Yeah, that's right, it's perfect. But are you, the player, perfect as well? What do you mean by that? What do I mean? That's what I want to hear. You play around a lot in your game. Sometimes that ends up confusing Burncastle. At first I thought it was some special strategy of yours. But I get the feeling that's not quite true. Rather than toying with the opponent in a match you can win, you don't actually care whether you win or lose, right? Ridiculous. How could that be? You know what? Your role is to make Burncastle surrender. In other words, that means being the victor in this game for all eternity. As long as you keep trying to become the victor with certainty, then I'll give you my power as the Witch of Certainty. However, if you fight in a way that doesn't eliminate any possibility of your loss, that's a different story. Of course, this is a game. Just as Lady Burncastle will lose when I win, I will sometimes lose when she wins. The possibility of loss always exists. Therefore, I will... This is why you're useless. There's no need for you to be a game board. You just have to be a birdcage that can lock Burncastle up here for all eternity. What's the role of a birdcage? Making certain the little bird inside never escapes. What's a birdcage worth if it has cracks that sometimes let a bird out? Of course, games exist for the purpose of winning, and it is impossible for me to lose. Therefore, I will continue to win, as you wish, for all eternity. Good answer. That'll be fine. I'll allow you to play around and use fakes as part of your tactics. It ended up being useful during parts of this round. But you know what? If you make a move hoping for anything else other than victory, make sure you're prepared for something amazing, okay? I will do no such thing. I swear it. Because originally you weren't even a witch, and at any time, I'll remind you what a truly shabby creature you were. If you betray my expectations, that is. As soon as you do, you can look forward to a fun punishment game. is in a world of billions of fragments. I'll send you into the most miserable once I did seal you there. You were already miserable to start with, so there's going to be some really miserable fragments out there for the picking. That's an interesting face to have. Oh, I love you, Burncastle. Struggle in Beatrice's birdcage as much as you like, and over the course of 1,000 years realize that you can no longer escape. And, when you surrender, I'll train you so that you can't do anything other than cry in the palm of my hand. Alright, The Witch Hunt. Credits. Thanks to the dozens of fans who directly supported the English translation. Addition of new elements. Question has been added. You can find this new feature in the title screen. Is this going to be the normal tea party? Let's go see where it takes us. How would you pronounce that? How would you actually pronounce that? Other than question mark, question mark, question mark. 12 years later. October 4th, 1998. And this was the other theory I had for who that person was. A descendant of the people who survived that thing coming in to fight that battle. Like crazy Battler's kid. Therefore, Battler couldn't have died. Therefore, it had to have been stuff. Twisted logic for the win, right? A monotonous electrical. Sorry. A monotonous electronic sound kept on repeating. The room was colored with hygienic tones, in other words, an emotionless white. It was a room at a certain university hospital. Neither her doctors nor the person herself had any doubts that this room, which had a price so high that no commoner could afford to spend a single night there, would be the last room she ever saw. Was the person on the bed Eva? Even if someone told you that was so, she was unbelievably aged and worn out. The well-built man in a suit waiting in the corner near the door was having a whispered conversation through an intercom with someone outside. He was a guard protecting Eva's person. After telling the person on the other end of the intercom to wait, he approached Eva's bed. Eva had been awake for a short while. However, she stared at a single point in empty space, as though her mind was not in the same place. Angie-san has arrived in the lobby below. Should we let her pass? For a long time, Eva did not answer. However, bit by bit, her eyes began to regain their focus, and she gave a small nod, indicating that she didn't mind if they called Angie. It had been Eva who called her, and she was right on time. By this point, Eva would refuse anyone who wanted a meeting without an appointment. The room was dark, even though it was still light outside, because the curtains were always closed. There was always one guard waiting in the room, and 3 more waiting in the corridor and the lobby. They were all there to protect Eva's person. Eventually, there was the sound of a knock. Also, there was a message from the intercom that the guest's body checks had been completed with no problems. The door was unlocked, then opened, and a high school-aged girl was standing there. Chairman, Angie-san has arrived. Eva reacted and turned her face towards the guest. However, instead of reacting to the guard's call, maybe it would be better to say that she reacted to the smell of Angie's makeup. After being shut up in this room for so long, Eva was sensitive to even small changes in smell. So you came, Angie. I came. You did call me. On Eva's face there was no trace of a person warmly welcoming their niece. And on Angie's face you couldn't see the expression of one pleased to meet with their aunt. Eva waved her arm, which had grown as thin as a withered branch, and motioned for the guard to leave. The guard bowed silently and went out into the hall. It's not only stuffy, but dark too. Can I open the curtains? Did your plan for that hitman you hired to shoot me through the window? I wish I could get hired to assassinate you. All I'd have to do is relax at home for a month and the job would take care of itself. Their discussion was quite morbid for an aunt and niece. However, they didn't look like they were joking. At the very least, Eva believed that someone was after her life. All of the Ushimiya family's massive fortune had come into the possession of Ushimiya Eva. It was said that this fortune also included the 10 tons of hidden gold that Ushimiya Kinzo was rumored to have hidden. All this vast wealth lay in Eva's cunning, sly, and suspicious hands. No one was able to complain. But it was rumored that as soon as it was passed on to Angie, who was no more than a young girl, certain people were plotting to snatch it away. By now, Eva and Angie were Kinzo's only descendants. If Eva died, all of the wealth would go to Angie. And if Angie were then to be killed as well, that wealth would go to the family of Angie's mother, Kiri. Ah, Kiri's kid, see? Hey, I was right! Wait. I can't remember the specifics. I know there was something funny, but I'm going to take it as I was right. I guessed right for once. In this sense, not only Eva, but Angie as well, were in a position where it wouldn't be odd at all for their life to be targeted by some unknown person. And Eva had hated Angie for a long time. This was because she knew that, after losing her only precious son, George, the inheritor of her own wealth would be none other than the girl who had been absent at that family conference 12 years ago. New profiles? Yeah, and who had survived. Oh, they just shoved Marie off to the side. Ushimiya Angie, the daughter of Rudolph and Kiri, Battler's younger sister from a different mother. She hasn't come in contact with Battler often, but is extremely fond and respectful of him. She was sick and absent during the family conference, so she always ends up surviving in solitude. A very unfortunate girl whose heart is in tatters. Has a bad habit of always walking around with massive amounts of cash, throwing it out to whoever comes first. So just take my money, do stuff. Eva shunned Angie, disliked her, and even hated her. She isolated Angie in a special school and separated her from the youth and happiness normal people have, trying to keep her as a pet until death. However, Eva has succumbed to an incurable illness, and ironically, her remaining life was estimated to be the same as Kinzo's had been at that family conference 12 years ago. Both Eva and Angie hated each other. Even though they were each other's last blood relatives, they hated each other so much that they hoped the other would die quickly. And? Why did you go to all the trouble of calling for me? I don't have much time left. Hey Angie, wanna be friends? Huh? I can show you a good time. These quack doctors still can't detect any of the poison that's filling me up. I know. I'm sure it's some secret assassination drug used by those Soviet KGBs. Oh, I'm gonna be killed, I'm gonna be killed. Isn't that great? Very soon I will die, which will surely be quite a load off your back. What a pitiable person. This always happened. They immediately deviated from the main topic, distorting it into a more unsettling discussion. Eva, who was absolutely paranoid, believed that someone was always after her life. And, in actual fact, after inheriting the vast wealth of the Ushimiya family, she had used wild methods just like Kinzo had done in the past, repeatedly making money by any means necessary and creating many enemies along the way. With a massive supply of capital, she had plotted to aggressively buy businesses that were starting to have rapid growth. Oh yeah, Dead Battler in basketball. I realized that, but then forgot. Ushimiya Battler. shot to death by Ushima Eva inside the mansion. The weapon was the Winchester from Kinzo's collection. Jessica had lost her eyesight, alone with Battler. Wolves in sheep's puzzle. Missing. Ushimiya Jessica. She certainly was joined with Canon in the Golden Land. They both apologized for their own cowardice, communicating their true and honest feelings, and they hugged each other until their final moments. Afterward, she was chewed to pieces by demons and went to hell. It's alright. Canon is with her. Eva, Kinzo's second child. She is hostile towards her brother Kraus and opposes him whenever she can, from issues dealing with the family fortune to questions of who will succeed the family headship. Normally, she would have lost her place in the Ushimiya family upon her marriage, but she managed to forcibly overcome this by having her husband take her family name. Nothing new. Boring. I guess. With a massive supply of capital, she had plotted to aggressively buy businesses that were starting to have rapid growth, making them buy it back at a high price under the guise of reconciliation. Ironically, it was the same type of action that her husband's company had been hit with 12 years ago. She had repeated this constantly for 12 years. She had also earned a lot of hatred. If her husband had heard of this from beyond the grave, he might have defended her, saying that the loneliness from losing her family fueled her actions. However, of all the people who knew her now, none would defend her. It's clicked. Take it. Get back. There we are. In fact, I dreamed I made some kind of pun about a duck, and I actually put myself up. As soon as I was awake, I couldn't even remember what language I had dreamed in, though. Now that is impressive. Dreaming about a pun so much that you woke yourself up from laughter, and not remembering what language it was. That is truly impressive. I tip my hat to that. You'll have to remember what that pun was. For some time, Eva eloquently spoke of how her life was being targeted, listing off names of people who hated her, and sneering at the fact that she still hadn't been killed. Even though Angie heard her own name included in that list, there was no particular change in her expression, and she waited indifferently for Eva to tire herself out. Can I ask what perhaps brought that up? You see, I really hate you. I'm honored. Same here. I built this future for George's sake. To think that it would be snatched away by you. To think that it would be stolen away by Rudolph's daughter. I can't bear it. To think that I would have my fortune stolen away, without even leaving behind a child. That I cannot forgive. If only you just give all of your fortune to charity. What about all those religious people you used to go so far out of your way to find? They all say the same thing. My excessive wealth has become a burden to me, and they always say something about how I need to give it up and cleanse myself. Then I thought of something. I stopped donating. That would be a logical thought. Not very nice, but logical. Quite a way to wake up. First you're super happy, then confused, then frustrated, not being able to remember. I can imagine. Definitely. You are very strange indeed. And maybe your new username is finally manifesting itself. Your inner witch is trying to call out to you and become real. Believe, magic is real. And I'll tell you another joke about geese. For a time, Eva had searched for the founders of several strange and new religious cults, perhaps seeking peace in her heart. But they gave her heart no relief, and if anything, they ended up increasing her paranoia further. If you have too much money, why don't you just start buying up thoroughbreds to make some corned beef? I've thought of something even more interesting. I've worried over it a lot. What could I do to make things horrible for you? I thought about killing you. I also thought about erasing all of my wealth, leaving you penniless and selling you off to a slave trader or something. Wouldn't that be wonderful? You'd have your arms and legs chopped off and be forced to take customers until you died. That would be so wonderful. Is this fun for you? Oh yes, it is. It's fun to scare you, but very soon I will die. So I thought about how I might continue to cause you pain, even after my death. And then, it was surprisingly simple. I called you because I wanted to talk about it. I have midterms coming up. Keep it brief. I have decided I will have you inherit all of my fortune. Oh? Not only that, but I decided that until the very day I die, I'll expand that fortune as much as I can, inflating it to massive proportions for having you inherit all of it. Can you even imagine what that would be like? I don't get it. Because it's stupid. That's right. You don't get it, do you? Look forward to it. It really is fun being rich. Every day, yokai from across Japan come to play. From now on, your entire life will be followed by talk shows and weekly magazines. The media will criticize me no matter what I do or don't do. If I donate, they'll attack me for being bourgeois. And if I hesitate, I'll be abused as a miser. Oh, every day really is wonderful, you see. I decided it'd be great to let you have that kind of life, where you're so young and have so much ahead of you. Doesn't that sound absolutely wonderful? Looks like the public's opinion of all you've done, was spot on. Too true. Yes, that is too true. Go ahead, abuse me as much as you want. Soon, you will face that same criticism. Japanese culture dictates that good people live in honorable poverty, while the wealthy should just die. No matter what you do or do not do, you will eventually be lifted up as a symbol of envy and hate across Japan. I wonder how twisted your life will become after living that way. You have no allies. No one will listen to your worries. Abusing you will become a public sport, and no one can stop that. Oh, Angie. Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. I wonder how you will live your life and how you'll end it. Enjoy to the fullest the life of being unable to trust anyone in the world, being unable to love anyone, but not able to talk with anyone. I'll be patiently waiting for you to take that story of hardship down with you into hell. Good timing, right? Her insane laughter turned into a painful cough. Without changing her expression in the slightest, looking completely unconcerned, Angie stared at the only survivor of Rokkenjima. Perhaps because he found the violent coughing suspicious, the guard gave a short knock on the door and rushed in at the same time. Angie glanced at him wordlessly, making it clear that she didn't intend to move a step from where she was. Angie was prepared for some kind of trap to frame her and Eva's death. However, that was fortunately a needless fear. As the guard rubbed Eva's back, he poured hot water from a thermos into a mug. As he did, Eva kept coughing, apparently in pain. Angie figured this was probably the last she'd see of the Rokkenjima Witch's final days. Eventually, the coughing subsided and Eva regained her normal breathing. However, the glittering madness inside her eyes hadn't subsided in the slightest. Voice acting coughing characters. That's definitely that. Do you need somebody to cough for you? I got you covered. No, I will give to you that cursed mass of gold and the Ushimiya family headship, as well as the name of the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Enjoy the insane, twisted rest of your life, fitting for the name of the witch. I don't need that. More importantly, tell me, on that day, What happened on Rokkenjima? I don't believe it was an accident. Tell me the truth about what happened that day, and why father and mother and Nissan died. Oh yes, that is the best way I have to harass you, isn't it? What happened on that day? What happened on this day in 1986? You want to know what they said before they died, right? I won't tell you. I'll leave behind the cursed gold. But you know what? I'll take the truth you seek with me to hell. That's the best way I can torment you. Oh, are you mad? If you want to hear it so much, try going to hell and asking your family there. In that case, you'd better die right now, right? If only you'd just give up and die right now. That laugh continued until she started coughing again, and that cough did not subside until she started moaning and going into convulsions. That would be a weird sight. I bet even in that state of her just barely coughing and surviving, she'd still have that evil glare just staring at her. Type of thing. October 4th, 1986. On Rokkenjima, the Ushirmiya family's customary and final family conference was held. And on the next day, October 5th, an extremely unfortunate accident occurred and the Ushirmiya family was wiped out. Fortunately, Ushirmiya Eva escaped from that and inherited almost all of the Ushirmiya family's fortune. However, due to the many turbulent rumors surrounding the Ushirmiya family, the way Eva acted afterwards, and her unnatural actions at the time of the unfortunate accident, the public was in an uproar over whether this might have been a conspiracy to get all the inheritance for herself. No. Under pressure from the public, prosecutors repeatedly tried to investigate the matter, and the media began tracing the outline of a conspiracy they called the Rokkenjima suspicion. But in the end, they weren't even able to find proof that this unfortunate accident was a crime. Paid them off. However, because the media continued to give the impression that the Rokkenjima suspicion was a conspiracy of Eva's, public opinion began to believe that she was the true culprit. Of course, that was also influenced by the bad impression caused by all that easily condemnable, overbearing financial activity, which she had carried out using that vast wealth. Every time she did something and the rumors started spreading, the media would bring back the Rokkenjima suspicion, blaming the criminal justice system by saying that she was the true culprit, and that the only reason she hadn't been arrested was because even the police had been bribed. So, the impression that she was a great villain grew stronger and stronger. Her heart eventually degenerated, and, ironically, it began to transfigure her into the kind of human that the public expected. By now, Eva had no one she could trust, and no family. After her beloved husband passed away, the talk shows occasionally mentioned his company, saying that it was run recklessly, while criticizing and disgracing its former accomplishments. Even her beloved son George was dramatized as a stereotypical rich, lazy son that the public expected, and no one even wanted to know what a simple and honest character he had possessed. As to how much all of this hurt Eva and ran her to ruin, no one cared. The public was only interested out of curiosity about how a super-rich evil woman who killed her whole family lived her pitiful later years. That happened more and more, and eventually, Eva's personality was transfigured until people started calling her a lunatic. It was said that this sometimes reminded her of her father, whom she had once admired in his later years, and that she laughed at herself with scorn. And, on the day of that final family conference, because Ushirmiya Rudolph's daughter, Angie, had been sick and had stayed with her mother's family, she had not participated. At the age of 6, she had lost her family and gained Eva as her guardian. Since Angie had become Eva's only blood relative, Eva took very good care of her. She had imposing guards surrounding Angie's person at all times to prevent her from coming to harm. Angie had even her right to play with friends, to come home from school together and to enjoy the season together, stolen away, so that she can live a full and pleasant school life. Eva had sent Angie to an elegant boarding school that took care of her every need, completely isolating her from the world. She didn't even know that popular songs that girls her age might hum. She was never given a chance to enjoy window shopping with her friends or stuffing her mouth with crepes, much less an encounter with a member of the opposite sex to make her heart throb. Angie did not have a single friend. If anyone carelessly acted friendly with Angie, they would be scolded by the guards or else the teachers. All of them were strictly ordered not to let shabby humans approach the daughter of the esteemed Ushirimiya family. During that time, the talk shows were always mentioning Ushirimiya Eva, always spreading rumors about her countless financial misdeeds. Those who knew her daughter was naturally began to keep their distance. Even now, she was called a witch at school, and anytime something bad happened, even if there was no proof, it would be whispered, as though there were absolute truths that she had imposed her will on the school staff. The environment makes the person. By now she had a heart as wild as those around her feared. No one trusted her, so she never bothered to believe in anyone. No one loved her, so she never even tried to love. Just fantastic parents indeed. It's just, what do you, I know, right? Giving her every possible protection in the world she could afford. That's a good parent, right? Right? And when Eva caught an incurable illness on top of all this, it was whispered that this too was a conspiracy, and this time Angie was set up as the mastermind. Everyone whispered that the daughters of witches are witches too. Even the talk shows and the weekly magazines whispered that. Though Angie also accepted it as though it was as though it was obviously true. Therefore, since she already believed she was a witch, when she heard that the name of the Golden Witch was being turned over to her, she only felt like saying, "You just figured that out now?" However, she was at least sure of one thing. This title of witch that she had inherited would definitely never be inherited by anyone else. She would be the last head of the Ushirimiya family, and the last lonely Golden Witch. But yeah, parents can be too protective, and leads to an unhealthy child. Angie could be seen on the roof of a skyscraper. Compared to the winds of the world that had beaten down upon her until now, the strong, cold wind was warm and pleasant. Below her lay a beautiful nighttime scene and a dazzling river of red and white lights. It was supposed to be clear out that night, so there really should have been countless stars searching out over the sky. However, the light from the ground was too bright, so you couldn't see them all. Angie couldn't help but think that what she truly sought must lie in that unseen starlight. The world of reality below her looked so far away from here. She could imagine that this place was the closest to the world she really should be in. There was only one thing that Angie cursed. Why had she not been able to go to that family conference on that day 12 years ago? Even though, if she had gone, it would probably have been possible for her to stay with her family forever. Lately, she'd been dreaming about her family over and over again. The person I was 12 years ago calls out frantically, urging them not to go to the family conference. But both Dad and Mom are too far away, and my hand won't reach them. Bachelor Nissan always loved me a lot, and he'd always pat my head. But even though it looks like that hand's about to touch me, even if it does not reach, for some reason I started having that dream over and over. Every time I had that same dream, I usually tried to stretch out my hand even more forcibly, over and over and over. Even if only Battler Nissan had lived, then perhaps we'd at least be able to support each other in my cold and lonely reality. But his hand never reaches me. Even if I climb to the roof of this tall building, I'm so far away from all of them. A mysterious girl appears in my dreams and urges me. She urges me to find the truth of what happened 12 years ago. If only I could learn everything that happened to Father and the rest of them on that day. Would they come back? At least one of them? There was no way that anyone would answer that question for her. I get it. In this world I have no family or friends. So, let's go. Let's go home, to where my family is. From the start, Anji's figure had been on the outer side of the fence. The scenery below her eyes was distant, beautiful, and so fantastical that it actually didn't give rise to fear. If I look down, I'll surely be swallowed up by the world below. So I looked up, because I wanted to be taken to the world above, the world where my family was. Who cares about vast wealth? Who cares about cursed gold? Who cares about the golden witch Beatrice? What I really want, even a mountain of gold couldn't get me. What I need for that is to take a single step forward, just that little bit of courage. At that moment, I definitely heard a voice. It was a voice I knew, a voice that had called to me in my dreams for so long. Before my eyes, in other words, in midair above that jet-black nighttime scenery, there was the figure of the girl I'd seen in my dreams. He spoke again with the same voice I'd heard in those dreams. Your assistance is required. My assistance? Who needs it? Your family needs it. Your family has been eternally imprisoned in the span from this day 12 years ago until the following day. If I save them, does that mean my family will come home? When he asked the question, I had most wanted to. The girl cruelly stopped talking and hung her head. I cannot promise that. The enemy is the golden witch Beatrice, a mighty opponent. I cannot oppose her. But another golden witch might be able to manage something. I don't know what you're talking about. The only one who can oppose the Beatrice of 1986 is the final Beatrice of 1998. In other words, you, Angie Beatrice. That witch from 12 years ago took away my family? That's right. She is your foe. The root cause that always leads to your future of isolation. My family's foe. In exchange, I will search for a fragment with the ideal world that you wish for. A world where your family comes home. I make no promises that your desire will be granted. Beatrice's game board in 1986 is quite perfect. I had planned on bringing you that ideal fragment as a present today, but I still can't find it. This is a very firm fate. I haven't seen the likes of it since the time I fought Lambda Delta. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to search for and bring you the happiest resolution among the possibilities you're capable of accepting. Revenge. It may be a fruitless effort. Even if you succeed in your revenge, there's no definite proof that your family will return. Even if you manage to hit a miraculous probability, you may only be able to bring one person back, if that. Angie understood the meaning of that dream. The dream where it seemed that with just a little more stretching, her hand might be able to reach at least Battler Nissan. A miraculous probability means it's still higher than 0, right? Is it 1%? Trying to reach any probabilities before the result is useless, so I cannot tell you that number. The fourth one. Yep, she would be the fourth Beatrice. End of the story. Place your bets. 7? 6. I'm gonna bet 6. That's my number. But it'll definitely be slightly more than if I do nothing. The real Beatrices were the friends we made along the... Well, then those friends suck. They kill everybody we know. And then do it again. But it'll definitely be slightly more likely than if I do nothing. Yes. As long as you do not throw that desire of yours away. But be prepared. It is extremely close to 0. Golden Witch, Angie Beatrice. As of now, you are a true witch. And there she is. The final witch, born in 1998. She was named by Eva as her successor and was accepted with talent for attacks against anything of magical nature. She holds tremendous potential for both offensive and defensive. However, the distance is vast. 12 years is a long time. I'm going to try and find a good breaking point here. The instant she proclaimed that I was a witch, I felt dizzy as though something inside me had changed drastically. At that time, I heard a clunk. And there we go. It was the sound of the door that opened the staircase to the roof. It was Aunt Eva's guards. And we'll see where we go next time. Cliffhanger on a skyscraper. Along with some new music, it looks like. But yeah. We now have Angie Beatrice. New people. And Ushimia Angie. So much gold and no one's going for therapy. Paying for... You have enough money to pay for every therapist in the world and you still don't do it. Why not? I don't trust them. They're gonna take my money. That's kind of the point of paying somebody. But yeah, it's one of the things with that much gold. It's a curse. You'll never be able to live with it. Then don't. I don't want it. Somebody else take it. No more problem. That would be my solution. I'd take a couple million, more than I need, and the rest go, here, whoever wants it, take it. Here, I'll make that company go good, I'll make that company go good, no returns, just take it. And just shove it on everybody. Have fun. You guys want food? Here, have an entire country's worth. There you go. There's so much I couldn't give it away. Anyway, see you guys later. And this is a new song. An interesting one. But see you later. Until next time. I guess we still have more to go with this character. This should be renamed The Never Ending Story. Been at it for like a month now. Have a good one, people.